So I was literally just doing it because it felt good. Hey girl, I need to spend some extra money. What you want for free? She would get the zoomies like mid video. Y'all better come and find me, as you should, because I'm the main character. I run this. I'm not expecting to get anything. I already have everything. I already have it all. So there's that. More exciting and more thrilling than my current reality. These are my desires chasing me down, as they should, And hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's Taj and I'm back today with some more free tea. So I'm going to try to make this real quick. I want to make this video 10 minutes or less, okay? 10 minutes or less. So I'm going to just have a chat today because a lot of you guys had a lot of good questions that you guys left in my last video. And so what I'll be doing in this video is just addressing these questions as quickly and efficiently as I can. So if you're interested in this video, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first. Hello. One of two of my cats, Isis. I'm sure she'll peek back in. But the first question that I got was, a lot of you guys wanted to know, like, what was my manifestation routine with this? Like, how long did it take for me to receive all the items that I mentioned in the last video, the 3 Apple items? Like, how long did it take for this to manifest? You guys wanted to know, like, what was my routine? Did I ask myself this question, like, wouldn't it be nice? Did I do that like 3 times a day for 10 minutes each? Like, what did I do? You guys were curious about, like, my routine and how long it took for the things to actually manifest in the 3D. So here's what I'll say. First things first, I didn't know that what I was doing. I didn't know that because I had been being like, oh, those would be so nice, and just allow my imagination to run crazy with that. I didn't know that that was the reason that all of these things came in so fast and so effortlessly. I didn't know until recently, but now that I do know, I will start to intentionally do this more and create like some sort of routine for myself, which I pretty much already have. So like, as of right now, you know what? I'll do another video on how I'm using it and the routine that I've set up for myself. But to answer the question, initially, I didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't see these items and think like, oh, I want an iPad, a new phone, and some headphones. Let me affirm for it. Let me visualize for it. Let me do this to manifest these things. That was never the goal or the intent, or that was never how it went for me. Like I said in that video, I've been more so like in a flow state with manifestation lately and with my journey. And also just in a state of like, I'm her. Knowing that I can never mess it up. I can never be wrong. I can never not be living in the end. I can never not be in the state of the wish fulfilled. I can never not be the version of me that already has what she wants. I'm always her. I'm always her. You know, like, I'm her. I already have everything I want. So if this has been my mindset so heavy to the point to where I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't have desires. Obviously, we're always gonna be desiring things, but I don't feel the need to like intentionally, or I didn't feel the need to like intentionally do anything to get it, because like, I already have it. It's already mine. Like literally, I'm just waiting on it any second now to just poof out of thin air into my reality, like magic. That's it. So I didn't feel the need to affirm for anything. That's just the state I've been in. So I literally intuitively started asking myself this question. And then when I did come to the realization of like, oh, this is what I've been doing. This is why things have been happening so fast for me. And this is why I'm getting everything, but I feel like I'm doing nothing. Cause like I literally been chilling, not intentionally trying to manifest anything. I just been going with the flow and being her, being in the state all the time of just being myself. So I didn't know what I was doing, to answer your question. Once again, I didn't know, but stay tuned for that video. I will do a video on like how I think you guys can implement it, what I'm going to be doing to implement it, like on a more intentional basis. And then as far as how long it took for me to get those items, again, I don't know, because it wasn't intentional for me to manifest those items. But I do remember when I took the screenshot for the headphones, the day that I took the screenshot is the day that I first had the desire. Like I said in that video, I saw one of my favorite vloggers have those on like, one of her vlogs. And I just, in that moment, I was like, oh, it would be so nice to have some of those. I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. And I just went in my imagination, but I never, after that moment, I never said, oh, I'm going to manifest these headphones. It was just kind of like, that would be nice. But anyway, that was on October 26th. And from October 26th until, it had to been like within a few days. And I say within a few days because another question you guys had is, how did these things come about? Like, how did they just fall out of thin air and into your lap? What did that look like? So I'm blessed to have so many successful friends, close friends in my circle. And one of my friends, she's been an entrepreneur for years. She's got a successful business. And so she just called me out the blue. She's like, hey, T, what's up? And I was like, hey, girl, what's up? And she was like, nothing. I don't have much time, but I don't have much time, but here's what I'll say. She's like, I am in a crunch. My accountant called me and I have to spend X amount of money with the business before the fiscal year ends. And I don't know what all to spend this money on. And so she was like, I'm headed to the Apple store. I'm about to get these items for myself. She listed the items and she was like, I'm just calling to see if you want some free items because I'm going to buy it for you. If so, because I need to spend money. And so I was like, girl, yeah, of course. Who would I be to say no? Who would I be to say no? Like, what? This is my blessing. These are my manifestations. These are my desires chasing me down, as they should. And so when I got off the phone with her, I was like, I know that's right. Apple products, y'all better come and find me, as you should, because I'm the main character. I run this, right? So that'd be my attitude. That's literally how I'd be talking to myself in my imagination and in my head and my inner conversations. But yeah, so that's how I got these. That's how they just like fell in my lap. And as long as she's had her business, she's never in our whole friendship, and we've been friends for well over 10 years, but she's never called me and said like, hey girl, I need to spend some extra money. What you want for free? Never. So that was just ironic. And so what I'm saying is the time that it took, she had to spend this money before the fiscal year ended. And I think that ended at the end of October. So when I saw these things, the headphones, especially on October 26th. So from October 26th until October 31st, between that time is when I got the phone call that I would be getting these free items. Now, when I actually received the items in hand, tangible, where I could like touch them, was like either the first or second week of November. So as far as time, that's how long it took once I said, oh, that would be nice, and ran away with it in my imagination. Okay, so the next question I got is why doesn't daydreaming and visualization and being in your imagination work like that for everyone? This person commented and said, I know people that daydream all the time, but they still don't have their desires. Or I know people who are in their imagination all the time, but they still don't have their desires. So I really don't have an answer for this besides what are they daydreaming about? Like, just because a person is daydreaming or visualizing or in their imagination a lot or often doesn't mean that whatever they're doing in their head is serving them in a positive way. So that's the only thing I can think of it. Like if a person is daydreaming all the time and they're obsessing over like not having enough money, or I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, or trying to think of a master plan to get out of a slump. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be one of the main reasons, besides maybe also them having just some underlying assumptions or beliefs also that just simply don't serve them. And so maybe that's why they're not manifesting, even though they are still daydreaming and visualizing. That's what I can say. But I know for me, and I'll say this too, when I did come to the realization of what I was doing by asking myself this question, and the realization that asking this question really jump-started or kick-starting my imagination, and just allowing me to just indulge in the endless possibilities and scenarios of how nice it would be to have this thing, that reminded me of what I did when I was a child. I literally manifested my entire childhood and like major core memories, like me being a really good basketball player growing up. I manifested that. Me passing my college exam to be a teacher. I manifested that. So many things, like being like, I don't want to say popular, but in a sense, and like this popular athlete like in high school, and just dating like another popular athlete, one of the guys who was a popular athlete on the basketball team. Like I manifested all of those things, like dating him, being popular, just being a kid. I manifested like jobs and careers for my parents when I was little, and I was little when I did these things. And if you guys want me to do a video on like everything that I now know that I consciously manifested, I mean, we're always manifesting anyway, right? But when I was a kid, obviously I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But now when I think back on it, I know exactly how all of those things manifested for me, and how my life was the way that it was. It was because I was always in my imagination. I would always see things or see people or see something that I thought was fun or exciting. And I would go home and think to myself, because I grew up as an only child. So all I had was my imagination and my toys. So I would go home and I would be like, oh man, she's, you know, such and such in my class seems to have such a good life, or I bet her life is like this, or I wonder what it's like to be at her house, or I wonder what it's like for this, or I wonder how that feels, or wouldn't it be cool if that was me? Wouldn't it be nice if that was me? And I would just allow my imagination to take me to a place in which I was in this imaginal reality in which I was pretty much the main character. Like I put myself in these other children's shoes who I looked to and thought, oh, that would be nice, or what they have would be nice. I did that growing up as a kid, and literally that's how I manifested so much. So if you guys want me to do a video on like those things specifically, I think it's really cool. And I would love to share it. Let me know down in the comments below. And also let me know down in the comments below too, since I said that I really didn't have an answer for this person's question when they asked, like, why is it that some people visualize and daydream all day but still don't have their desires or aren't manifesting their desires? You guys let me know what you think too in the comment section below. I love hearing you guys' feedback, and you guys gave so much feedback on my last video too, which I really loved, because you know, we're all in this together. I'm still learning too, so I want to hear, and I want you guys to know that I'm open to like just hearing how you think and how you process and how you perceive things and what your perspective is. I'm just curious to know. So let me know down in the comments below why you think people can visualize and daydream but aren't getting what they want. So yeah, next question. Oh, and before I move on to the next question, this was like, I know in the last video when I was asking for you guys' feedback, I was saying like, oh, let me know like why you guys think this works for me, and just why it works in general. And a lot of you guys gave back your feedback, which I love. So many of you guys said so many things that I didn't really think about, one of which being the power of suggestion. And whoever commented that, shout out to you, because I'm going to dive more into the power of suggestion, and just because I'm curious, like I'm curious. But I'll say from my own perspective, I feel like it works for me because I had no expectations. Like I literally had no expectations. Even when she would get the zoomies like mid video, you get the zoomies. She's trying to tell me that she's the main character and it's not me, but girl, bye. But anyway, y'all, but yeah, I think it works for me because I had, when I was doing this, like when I first started doing this, remember I said I wasn't aware that I was doing this. I wasn't like, oh, let me say this question and let me do this for my imagination to get these. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was literally just doing it because it felt good. Just because it felt good. It felt good. It did something to me. One of you guys commented that like every time I said the phrase, like, wouldn't that be nice? Someone said it like they could see me light up inside. Like it literally lights me up inside to just think about what would be so nice for me, and how my life would be so nice, and how my life would be so much better with this thing or with this person or with whatever. It's just, I can't explain it. It's just fun for me. I like it. And that's why I was doing it when I was little. Because when I was little, obviously, like I said before, I didn't know I was, you know, by me imagining what it would be like to be a star girl basketball player who's really good, I didn't know that by doing that, I was going to actually end up being a girl star basketball player. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And so I literally was only doing that in my imagination as a kid because it was fun and it made me feel good. And it was more interesting and more exciting and more thrilling than my current reality was. And so I wanted to be there instead of there. And I also kind of used it as an escape too. Like when I was younger, like, oh, okay, I was bored a lot growing up as an only kid. So what was exciting? My imagination, playing make-believe, creating these imaginal scenes of like who I could be, or what if this, or what if that, or this would be so nice, or this would be so cool. So that's why I think, for the most part, I mean, there are other reasons as to why I think it works for me, but that's one of the main ones I think it works for me, is that I don't have any expectations, because I already, like, and the me right now doesn't have any expectations, because I know that I already have what I want. I'm not expecting to get anything. I already have everything. I already have it all. So there's that. That's all I have for right now. You guys stay tuned for the next video, because I will answer the most popular question that was in the last comment section of the last video, which is, girl, tell us all the other things you manifested using this. So that video, I will list some more things that I've manifested unintentionally and quickly by just simply asking myself, wouldn't that be nice? How nice would that be? So yeah, stay tuned for that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I will see you guys in that video. Sending out them a peace, love, and blessings. Happy manifesting.